Welcome to the MOSHAPE Minute Special Report. I am Guy Danhoff, and we're bringing you some just announced news. Today's kind of a special day as we are going to be joined by our Executive Director, Tom Loughrey, and our very special guest, Executive Director, all the way from Indiana, representing Indiana's SHAPE, their Executive Director, Gary Lemke. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Today's going to be a pretty exciting day. We've got some really cool announcements to go over. And Gary, I kind of want to start with you. We know that what has been dominating the news has been reentry. And I was just kind of wondering, because I understand Indiana is actually going to be starting to go back to school in just about 2 weeks, which is 2 weeks kind of ahead of what we're doing in Missouri. So I was wondering, kind of what's the temperature right now with the HPE community in your state?
Well, Guy, thanks so much for having me today. It's a pleasure and always enjoy spending time with MOSHAPE. In Indiana, it's very interesting. We do have some schools that are on a balanced schedule. So as you said, they'll go to school or they'll start back to school at the end of July. We're a local control state, and so one size does not fit all in this state. We have some that are going to school just as it would have been last year. We have some that are mask required, but full-time. We have some that are delaying a couple weeks. We have some that are going AB, so they may only be in school 2 days a week and blended and everything in between. So you just never know. And that's where I like to tell people resilience is going to be a feature because that's plan A for everyone. And as we know, plan B, C, and D could get implemented, on a moment's notice.
Well, absolutely. And we're going to break into this in just a second because you actually kind of titled this professional development opportunity, which is a free event. You title it Into a New World. And all I can tell you is, I think you might remember the last time I actually was in Indiana. Do you remember that?
Well, I do. It was the NFL Combine, which is at Lucas Stadium in Indianapolis, and that's about the same time InShape does its leadership conference. And where were you? I know you're kind of busy down there hobnobbing with all the pros and all the NFL teams, but you couldn't come a little bit to see us?
So Gary, I can promise you, if we ever get back to normal, we have that event, I can promise you I am making my way to your guys' big time convention. I can promise you that one. But I have to tell you, man, when they call me in to live stream, guys like Adam Schefter, when he's breaking news, all about teaching all of these professionals on how to be the man behind breaking news. What can I say? Live streaming, that's where I was, as you guys know. But the reason why I bring that up, we're talking, that was the end of February.
Right.
That seems like a total lifetime ago.
Right. It was about one pandemic ago.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it seems so long ago. What I'd like to do now is, Gary, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen, and I want you to kind of take this away on what is going to be going on next week with July 20th through the 24th. And here we go.
Correct.
And why don't you kind of introduce us to what you guys are doing next week?
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity. Basically, all this information is on the website, inhealthmovesminds.org. So feel free to jump back over to that. But basically, as you can see, prepare for reentry, which is getting a lot of attention and really navigating this whole new world that we're working in. And it is not just the virus, but certainly social unrest and just the whole combination of uncertainty is where we want to go. But we also don't want to react just in the moment. We also want to use this as a platform for navigating new paths and new outcomes and better strategies and that sort of thing. So we're going to have a full week, and basically the great thing about it is the virtual event is, and it's free, but you can sign up, and we will drop an email each morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and you'll get, and you'll see some of the featured speakers here. You'll get 3 featured speakers a day, and you can listen on your schedule. And I'm going to break some news today. We're actually going to have, this is a video, but we know that a lot of people are on the run and getting ready for school or maybe just want to be active while they listen to this. So we're going to have a podcast version of each session as well. But basically the idea is we want to cover e-learning. We want to cover equity, diversity, inclusion. We want to cover new lessons, new curriculum, physical literacy, skills-based health education, advocacy, and just have an awesome group here. Just to I'm going to hit a few, and once you start talking about speakers, if you don't hit them all, then we are really focused also on bringing principals into our membership. And in fact, right now for the next school year, about 10% of our membership is principals. So we have the 2018 National Principal of the Year talking about the heart needs of students. We are talking about the culture and climate from the co-founder of Character Strong and the social emotional learning part. And of course, social emotional learning, Health Moves Minds is a big part of that. So we have Yasmin from Shape America coming in. But physical literacy, Dean Kriller's Shape America's keynote from a few years ago. We have Andy Hare from Australia. He's already been back in school, and it's like everyone wants to know, hey, Andy, what's it like going back to school? What are those conditions like? I think he's going to have some incredible things to say that seem so obvious once he says them, but maybe some people hadn't thought about that. Advocacy, Shape America past president Jamie Sparks. Scott Totham on health education, a national teacher of the year. Tony Bader, adapted national PE teacher of the year. So each one of those, the great thing about it is we know there's screen fatigue out there. So I appreciate everyone watching today, but we're also going to make these 30-minute sessions, plus or minus a few, 0 PowerPoints, 0 slides, chock full of resources that you can link and download and that sort of thing, with curriculum, lessons, resources, tools, whatever it may be, more than you can handle probably, but it's all right there and you can do it the way you want to do it. So feel free, obviously we started this as an alternative to a summer program we were going to have in person at 8 places around the state, but now we're at infinite places, not only around the state, but around the country and quite frankly, around the world. We have people registered from quite a few different countries as well.
So basically, guys, here's your landing page. Again, as Gary just mentioned, it's free registration. No membership is required. And Tom, I want to kind of shift the focus to you now. As you know, our president, Dr. Dennis Dochev, his theme this year has all been about advocating and advocating even on a daily basis. And I think this is kind of cool what we're doing as MOSHAPE. And I was wondering if you can maybe give us a perspective of how this is aligning with our advocacy in our state and why this event might be of advantageous, certainly to our membership, as well as to certainly the HPE community at large.
Well, there's no question that we align very closely with Dennis. He and I talk frequently. We believe the same beliefs regarding advocating every day to every population possible. We have pushed this out to all of our 1,122 members about the Backyard Advocacy Day promoted by Shape America. Just as we have done with Chalk Your Walk, just like we've done with Health Moves Minds and other things, we have an extremely strong social media presence, but not just a presence. We have professionals who are actually doing something and showing results. And so it's one thing just to believe in advocacy, but it's more important that we act on it every single day. And just as my friend Gary has been doing, that MOSHAPE has been very active in reentry at every level. We've collaborated on a number of Zoom meetings, webinars, other information going out almost daily, and it's a changing landscape. Gary and I both have had a background in online teaching, and this is something that has to be shared. We cannot try to implement a program that is the same program that we had 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago. This is the opportunity to move into a new realm of connecting with students, connecting with faculty, connecting with parents in the community to promote healthy, active living. And there are many ways to do it. We have people looking at different platforms, different ways of implementing. But what it comes down to, we have to provide standards-based content with assessments that relate to the program goals and the outcomes that you're looking for. So Gary has been a wonderful presence in our convention in the past. And we look forward to continuing more connections like this. And just like Gary and I have communicated often, all of us in the SAM group, the Society of Association Management, we're all connecting almost on a daily basis to find out what is going on, what issues are being shared, and what we can do to overcome the barriers and ensure that our programs maintain integrity and become an even more integral part of the entire learning process. So Gary, thanks for being a part of this. And Guy, thank you for helping to grab him by the ear and saying, come on, join.
I'll be honest with you, it wasn't hard. All I had to do was just use a little emoji fire. When I saw in their promotion, they said, this thing's going to be on fire. And of course, I had to question it. I'm like, what do you mean on fire? So, you know, that's how we actually connected. It's kind of funny. You guys can see it certainly there on Twitter. So, Gary, I want to kind of give you, a final parting shot. And obviously, I love the fact how you build this event. Basically, you're calling it a virtual event for educators, for administrators that are clearly involved with the physical, the mental, and the social, emotional health of learners. And I was wondering maybe if you can kind of just take us away with, that final thought.
Sure. We're just really trying to, any way to stay engaged and let our members and teachers that might be considering membership just to, understand that they're not alone in this, that, whether it's advocacy, whether it's resources, whether it's professional development, whether it's just a sympathetic ear, whatever it may be, that we're there. Our goal is that as a voice for health literacy and physical literacy, we have this goal that, in Indiana, there's over 2,000 schools. We need to make sure that there's a flag waver educator in each one of those schools and a flag waver administrator in each of those schools who understands the importance. That COVID-19 has certainly exposed the need for physical literacy and health literacy like we've never understood before. So it's never been more important than right now. So we really think this is a way to gather that. inhealthmovesminds.org, which was that URL. We used that a year and a half ago when we invited the superintendents of Indiana to come in and talk about the whole child, just exactly what you said, mental, social, emotional, and physical health. And, so we are having a lot of conversations, just as you're doing, with state associations, with like-minded partners, and those that really can influence change in funding, culture, and climate, and outcomes. And that's really what we're all about.
Well, Gary, I got to tell you, very powerful. And guys, all I can say is please attend. I know that you guys have got plenty of space and you guys kind of beefed that up. So certainly you guys can take on a lot more people. You guys are around 500 so far registered. Is that right?
Actually, we tipped over 600 today.
Okay.
So,
see?
Yeah.
There you go.
It keeps going up. Yeah.
Probably should have asked that before. I'm not doing a very good job of not breaking that news of 600, using yesterday's news of 500. So what can I say? All right, Tom, your final parting shot. What would you have to say to our members regarding this event?
Well, this is just one example of what is breaking out all across the country. Right now, we're inundated with opportunities for professional learning, and this is something that our state societies must do. If you do not engage in 24/7 professional involvement and engagement, you're going down the hole. And it's critically important. And yes, there are a lot of challenges. And yes, it does take time to get it right. Yes, we will make a few mistakes, but collectively, we all work together to generate products and programs, and hopefully that influence policy so that we can impact the culture of health within the communities. And We have the WISC model, whole school, whole community, whole child that we follow. It takes work. It's not just that you go in and you roll out a ball and say, let's play, kids. No, that's not learning. Now you learn. There are many concepts to be mastered. How do you develop a health and active lifestyle? It has to be done. So this is all what we're doing. Yes, it's going to take a lot of work. Yes, you're going to hear from us almost on a daily basis, but that's what it takes. Our leadership is willing to do it. The leadership of each state society is willing to do it. So buckle up, we're ready to go.
Sounds good, Tom. And so guys, again, we're going to actually post the link for this event for next week right here within the tweet itself or on the Facebook posting. So it'll make it very convenient for you guys to click that bit.ly link. You go straight to the registration page. And then also, Tom, why don't you talk about what's going to happen tomorrow regarding the nation, regarding SHAPE Advocacy Day?
Well, we send out links to everybody, including letters to administrators, and the Shape America website with Carly Wright has really rich information. We must simply jump on that, and every one of our members, if each of our members contacts 2 people, one administrator, a colleague, then we're already, that pyramid of numbers is increasing to where we maybe will be close to 3,500 messages. We ask each member to send out 2 messages. And so when we're doing this, it's not just saying our program is important. It's saying our program is important because this is what we achieve. When children are active, when children are healthy, they're going to attend school at a higher rate. There are going to be fewer behavioral issues with those students. They're going to engage in higher level learning that will result in achievement. We have documented evidence that, Guy, it would take us 2 weeks to cite all the references that we have to support just exactly what I said. We must, as a professional, grab hold of that information, send it out so that we are compelling in our the message that we put out. And then we have to be able to gather data on a daily basis so that at the end of the year, every teacher can go to their administrator, their school board, and say, in my program, I accomplished this. And because of my program, students were A, B, C. And if we do that, we will have all the support that we need. Absent that information, you better learn to swim by yourself.
Well, all I can say, guys, is I'm really excited about what's going to happen next week. And also, Gary, I think the country is also going to be watching because it's going to be one of the very first true virtual events that is going to be put on. And we're probably going to learn a lot of things from what you guys are doing from that event. So I wouldn't be surprised if your email box gets a little loaded next week from people wondering, you know, how you did it, right? That kind of thing. So, Gary, I just want to say I really appreciate, you know, you taking the time to being on. Tom, as always, you know, certainly love so much your leadership as well as our total executive committee. We got a bunch of champions right here in our state. And just to tee up something that's going to happen tomorrow, I know that I just mentioned SHAPE Advocacy Day, absolutely, but I'm asking if you could just take out 10 minutes of your time at Noon Central, as I'm going to be going with Lauren Krebs for another edition of Zagging 101. This one's pretty important because this is what you guys asked that you wanted from us. And this came from the webinar that I did, Tom did, and Joey Martelli of Shape America put on a few weeks ago. And this week, we're going to dive into what it takes to start and grow a YouTube channel. And the reason for that is, guys, more than ever before, if you look at the rates, there is more viewership right now looking at YouTube than ever before. And this is a great communication platform that you can use at the state level with your members. And the other thing is, in case you didn't know this, the other reason why you'd want to have this presence is YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, only to Google. So when people are looking for your content right now, this would be the time to really get involved and get active with getting a YouTube presence, because I can tell you this is where everything is moving, especially when you start looking at all the virtual and online options. You need a place to house your content. What a better way for your states to beef up your YouTube efforts. So that's going to be tomorrow at noon. That link will be sent out later today. And for the MOSHAPE folks, we'll also send out a link to you through an email. For Tom Loughrey and Gary Lemke, I'm Guy Danhoff. We want to thank you guys for watching the special report right here on the MOSHAPE Minute. Thank you.